show.
Good show. Good job. Okay. Well done.
This is episode of, what is this show?
Killing Time.
Killing Time, episode 100. And we're in the same space. See, this is not a Skype call.
We're actually here.
Skype call. That we really timed that well.
Okay.
So we watched Batman vs. Superman. This is going to be a review of Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Spoilers. Lots and lots all over the place.
Flat out spoilers from the beginning. If you want to watch other reviews that don't have spoilers, maybe we can do that right now, real quick.
Okay.
Review of it with no spoilers.
Okay.
Then we'll get into the spoilers. Because I was watching a podcast that did that. I'm like, hey, I'm going to steal that idea.
Let's do that.
All right. So, review. What did you think?
I thought the actors were strong. I actually, Ben Affleck did an okay job.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman was good. Superman, pretty much more the same. Man of Steel. So if you liked him there, you liked him here. He was built like a brick shithouse, pretty much.
Yeah, he's basically a wall of humanity.
Yeah, and also Ben Affleck definitely worked out pretty hard for this too.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude in this one. Yeah. So visually amazing. I liked the effects. The fights were good. What did you think?
Okay, so what I thought about this movie, I came in with a lot of expectations because the Rotten Tomatoes ratings were all over the place. You had 29% from the critics, 73% or 75% from the audience. So I came in going, I don't know what I'm expecting. And it was a lot like Man of Steel. Mm-hmm. So if you didn't like Man of Steel, you didn't like this.
Right.
It was dark and it was dreary, and in some ways I don't even think of it as a Man of Steel sequel. It's just like, okay, we already showed you Man of Steel. He's in this other movie. Batman's the title character. They developed Batman pretty well. Wonder Woman doesn't get a lot of development. When she shows up, she's really cool.
She gets awesome screen time.
Yeah. Per minute, she's really awesome. She's not in the movie a heck of a lot. There were surprises in the movie, which I wasn't really expecting, which I liked because the idea of the trailers looked like they gave away everything, but they didn't. They kept some surprises. I like that. But overall, I think it's like this movie is going to make a lot more sense in 2018 because there's a lot of unanswered questions in the course of this 2.5-hour movie. Because they pack in so much stuff, it seems like this is really a setup for even more stuff.
Yeah.
That it hurts, I think, this actual movie as a whole.
Absolutely. They spend a lot of time setting up Justice League, and setting up Wonder Woman, setting up the future movies that they're already planning, that it kind of takes away from what this plot could have been.
Yeah. I mean, if this was a television show and this was like episodic television where you're getting like an hour of this a week, I can understand what they're doing. But to do this every year where it's like, this part kind of doesn't stand on its own, I don't think. I think it'll be much better with hindsight. But right now, it's just very it's okay. And you do get really good fight scenes.
Yes.
No question about that. Pretty cool car chases. Batman's pretty fun in this. Fun is actually the wrong word. He's violent in this.
He is dark. He is the Dark Knight.
He's like the darkest version I think we've seen in the movies.
Yes.
So that's, I think, the spoiler-free part of it. Now we're going to go talk spoilers. So if you're watching this far and you see this green thing drop, that means we're starting the spoilers, as we do every episode.
Yes.
Which we've done since episode 1.
Right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
All right, so where do you want to start in the Batman Superman review?
I want to start with my favorite thing. This is going to sound silly, but I loved the score anytime Wonder Woman was on the screen.
I like that too, but so I actually watched a non-spoiler review before the movie, and this guy said, Wonder Woman's theme is awesome. It's like if you were working out, it'd be a really good song to work out to. And then when it hits in the movie, it's really great.
Yeah, it actually, you get psyched up for whatever is going on the screen because you're like, wow, that music's really awesome.
It sounds like something like great is going to happen, or there's going to be an explosion, or there's going to be a fight. And that's usually the case when Wonder Woman's on screen. Not the alter ego, because that's not her theme until there's a reveal that she happens to be Wonder Woman, which we all know from the posters. So like when you see her dressed in like a dress, you're like, well, that's Wonder Woman, right? Does no one else know that she's Wonder Woman? Because like that's the other thing. Like at this point, the first time she shows up as Wonder Woman,
supposedly that's the first time she showed up as Wonder Woman in 100 years.
Yeah, so like when she's walking around these parties, she's not like a celebrity as Wonder Woman, and she's walking around. She just is kind of this undercover person.
Yeah,
there's no explanation as to why she's back in humanity because she leaves humanity for 100 years.
Right, but she blends in nicely with the highbrow crowd.
You know, this is actually really bad. If the first thing we're actually going for with a spoiler review is how good Wonder Woman is. When the movie's called Batman v Superman...
True, but...
trouble.
One more thing on Wonder Woman. She looks amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
She's fun. So there's a big battle scene, as you guys have seen in the trailer. It's Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman taking on Doomsday. And yes, it's Doomsday. They actually call him that. And Wonder Woman is the most kick-ass one of the three.
Yes. And the best part of it is there's one point where she gets knocked around and she smiles.
She's back down on like an elbow. She's ready to go back to fight and smiles, and she goes flying into Doomsday. She looks like she's enjoying the actual battle with this monster, which is flat out unstoppable. They made him ultra super powered, of course. And if you've watched or read the Death of Superman storyline, you know who Doomsday is. Like, you kind of have the idea he's pretty much unstoppable. He can kill pretty much anything. The Batman-Superman fight itself, okay, Batman or Bruce Wayne, or whoever the hell you want to call him, his motivations, I think, are incredibly dumb. That's the thing I have a huge problem with. So Batman, we have a really cool Batman. He's got tech, and he's got Alfred, good conversations. But that trailer, and I'll probably put it in here with that one line where he's like something saying about...
We believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy. We have to take it as an absolute certainty.
This leap of logic to me, this is the only explanation why, really. Like, he's seen this tower fall.
Right.
And he sees that there's collateral damage. But his dead set plan is to kill Superman. Mm-hmm. That's all he's going to do. Mm-hmm. Not like have a conversation with him and maybe be like, you know, I'm a pretty smart guy. Maybe I can figure out your motivations. I can tell if you're telling the truth or not. Or some kind of like open a dialogue. Mm-hmm. Nothing close to that. Superman first shows up, threatens Batman, which is even weirder.
Yeah.
Because he's like, the bat is dead. Is there any reason why Superman actually says the bat is dead?
No idea. But first of all, a lot of stuff might come out with these extra scenes he cut out.
Right. Because
there's about 30, 35 minutes of footage that he cut out that's going to be in the extra scenes. So there might be more there. But I think part of this hinges on that this Batman is definitely damaged. More so than any Batman we've ever seen on screen. Yeah. He's got some huge issues. He's got some past that bad stuff's gone down in the last 10 years, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and there's so Batman doesn't directly shoot anybody, okay? He does have a bunch of fight scenes where, like, there's people surrounding him, and he twirls a guy who's shooting a gun. So he's indirectly shooting people.
Yeah.
He does fire weapons from his car and vehicles, which explode other vehicles, ensuring death. But there is one point where Batman literally stabs a guy.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, he takes a knife that he was stabbed with, removes it, and then stabs this guy in, like, the shoulder, which is visually very jarring. I don't think we've seen Batman actually go into that level of hand-to-hand combat. Normally we've seen beat up people, disarm them, then hurt them, maybe even break a knee or something. But to stab a man seemed like, okay, all bets are off.
Yeah.
But this happens very late in the movie, which I thought maybe if they introduced this at the beginning, you're like, okay, wait a second. Yeah. Very different Batman. Because from the cartoon shows, the other movies, you have an idea of what Batman's code is, and in this universe, Batman's code is not that of the comic book or movies before. This is a totally different Batman. Same thing with Superman. Mm-hmm. The Superman doesn't have a problem with killing. Right. Like
it's a darker world.
Right, but see, the thing is, I guess this Batman has a reason. It looks like there's a reason.
It looks like there's a reason. I mean, everybody's seen the trailer where they see the old bat suit that has the Joker's message to him written on it, and everybody
on the Robin suit.
On the Robin suit, right? So they assume that something bad happened to Robin. We don't know what it is, but we know it's bad.
It's got to be bad enough. And I don't know. I didn't catch this in the graveyard scene, but like apparently there's a Dick Grayson.
Oh, I didn't see
grave
that.
There, or there was a screenshot of that leaked and was taken down. So I don't know if that actually happens in the movie or not.
Or if that might be extra footage that we don't see.
Like, we've only seen the movie. I've seen it once. You've seen it twice.
I've seen it twice, yeah.
So there are parts of the movie that I don't understand. They're the cameos. I'm going to go from like the least important to the most important one. But you have your Aquaman cameo. Actually, no, the least important one I think is Cyborg, really.
Well, no, because not the least important, because remember what's in the Cyborg cameo.
The mother box.
The mother box is in the Cyborg cameo, which is going to come to play, I think, in the future.
Okay, so we'll talk about Aquaman first. Because Aquaman, you've seen that picture. He's standing there. It looks all badass. He's got all the tattoos. Got the cool hair, right? There is video footage of each of these characters found on a LexCorp server.
Based on the metahuman thesis.
Right. So they have a metahuman subfolder that Batman has decrypted the whole thing, because that's what Batman did. He stole some information from LexCorp. Because he wants to find out what the kryptonite is, because LexCorp finds the kryptonite. So I'm explaining the whole movie at this point. So the shot of Aquaman is in a video, and he's just kind of like staring at camera. His hair is going. And I know he's supposed to be able to breathe underwater, but he looks like
He just looks like he's holding his breath.
he looks very uncomfortable, actually,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird. And then eventually, like, he just swims off, like, really fast, which looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it seemed a little weird to me. Mm-hmm. What did you think of that?
Yeah, it seemed a little off. He was out of the 4 videos we see, his was the least impressive.
Then you got Cyborg. They show off that origin. You've got a body of a kid up there, and there's a scientist, I guess his father, explaining what's going on because he's going to become a cyborg. And eventually, like, everything's failing. But then there's this box, it's called the mother box. It's got these little cool cubes that come out of it and stuff. It goes grafting onto Cyborg.
Yeah.
So this makes Cyborg.
And then the video cuts off.
Yeah, it cuts off right there. I feel like this is a bit long so far. Like, okay, we got this, we got that. Then there was the file on the Flash, which was pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, you get to see the Flash speed in and save the day at a convenience store. You know, he just speeds over, takes out the guy, and goes back to his spot. It's actually his other appearance in the movie that's more interesting.
Yeah. See, here's the thing, though. So this scraggly-looking guy, by the way. You got Ezra Miller with this, like, scruffy look. He looks like, kind of like, not a punk, but he doesn't look like the Flash. That's the first thing. Like, if you watch the TV show The Flash, Barry Allen's got his very specific look.
It's clean cut. It's Barry Allen. He's a scientist. I mean, it's just what you expect him to look like, and it looks like there's a departure going to be on this character.
Yeah, so it's a little different, and like you were saying, there's a second appearance. Actually, that video footage is the second appearance of the Flash in this movie, because the first time he shows up, it's in a bat dream?
A bat dream, but it's almost like he's coming through time to give a warning, and this is one of the most confusing parts of the movie.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's warning him about. He keeps saying it's too early, maybe it's the wrong time, something about Lois Lane. We don't know what's going on, but, you know, chances are, like you said, when the future movies come out, this is going to make sense.
Yeah, so
what's going on here?
I was watching a review about this to figure out what the hell did I watch. And there's this thing called The Nightmare. Actually, it's KNIT.
Yeah.
It's called this because, like, on the toy lines that are involved with this, when you see Batman in his, like, desert outfit, they call him, like, Nightmare Batman or something like that. So it has a name. In this movie, at some point, Batman is sitting there, like I said, he's trying to decrypt this hard drive or decrypt all these files from LexCorp. And while this is happening, it looks like Bruce Wayne dozes off. And then we get that whole nightmare scene where we see this world that's, like, dusty as hell.
Decimated with a, Omega sign.
Giant Omega sign on the ground, which I didn't even notice, by the way, because, like, it was such a mess. There's fiery things going on. I find out these flying things are the parademons. I didn't realize what they were.
What that was.
They were for Darkseid.
Yep.
Which
I knew the Omega Darkseid. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it had all of this stuff right there. Then Batman appears to wake up. He's jarred out. Well, actually, they skipped a whole bunch of stuff. Superman shows up and he essentially kills Batman.
Kills Batman, yeah.
Because he's like, you took her away from me.
Took Lois away from me, yeah.
And so he takes off his mask and then decides to, like, kill Batman by taking his heart out, it looks like. It looks like he's just going to go in and rip it out. So then Bruce wakes up. And as he wakes up, to his left is, like, what appears to be some kind of, like, weird bluish light. And then a man comes through and he's talking to him. But he's kind of, like, distorted and it's hard to hear what he's saying. And what I read was something more like, Lois Lane is the key. That's what I heard. Lois Lane is the key. And then something like, you were right.
You were right not to trust him.
Fear him.
Fear him. Am I too early? I'm too early.
And then Bruce wakes up again.
Yeah.
So what I had heard, or I actually misheard in a review about this, and actually I think this actually would make sense. Maybe that this nightmare that Batman had was actually part of what the Flash was telling him.
Uh-huh.
So Batman is asleep. Flash is telling him all this stuff. Like, this is what it looks like. You're going to do this. This is how you die. And then Bruce wakes up out of it somehow, and then he's actually aware that Flash is talking to him, or some way that Flash is actually giving him access to that memory from the future that this Flash is from. That's what I'm trying to make sense of this. But the problem is, none of that is clearly spelled out.
No, it just happens, and then the movie moves on like nothing.
Yeah, because Bruce wakes up, and then we're like, okay, so Lois Lane is the key. And later on, she has this spear with kryptonite on it, which sounds like that's the key, because that'll kill Doomsday, because he's Kryptonian, because he's a variant of Zod.
Mm-hmm.
But is that what they meant by the key? Is she the key in the future, or what?
No idea.
So there's so many freaking questions.
Maybe she's the key to keeping Superman from becoming evil.
Possibly.
You know?
Or she has some other information that we don't know. But,
Right.
the problem is that we can have all these questions, not because we weren't paying attention. It's just this stuff's not clear.
Right.
At all. You've seen the movie
Right.
twice.
There's a lot of ambiguity in the movie. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so, like, the whole thing with Lex Luthor giving birth to Doomsday. Like, we were having this discussion. So he puts Zod... Actually, let's get into this whole thing. So he gets... Lex Luthor wants to be able to bring in kryptonite. So there's a little bit of this political drama that's going on, which actually I don't think actually needs to be in the movie, now that I think about it. Long story short, he gets Zod, access to Zod. He cuts off his fingertips, puts them on himself, goes to the crash site where the ship is, gets himself in that way, because of course the Kryptonians have the same idea to do a hand scan, but just the fingerprints and not the full hand.
Yep.
But whatever, so he gets in. And then the ship is like, hey, do you want to be like the new leader of the ship?
And so he says, yeah, I do.
Which, by the way, why did nobody else ever say yes to that? Because this ship has been at the crash site for a very long time.
My thought is maybe without the fingerprints, they couldn't get by that one door.
The thing is crashed. It's opened.
I don't know.
Okay, so maybe you got a point. Maybe they never tried to use Zod's hand, even though they had access to Zod in the fingerprint scanner. Forget that. So then the AI says to Lex, do you want, like, I know, like, 130,000 years of history or something like that?
130,000 worlds worth of history. And he says, teach me.
Teach me. So then the next time we come back to Lex, he's like dragging Zod's body into a pool. Mm-hmm. And he then cuts his own hand. It starts like dripping blood on Zod's face after Zod's identified as Kryptonian Zod. And the blood's on there. They go, foreign DNA detected or something. And then we go away again.
Yep.
And when we come back, we have this convoluted plot of how Doomsday is introduced to Superman. You want to explain this?
Well, what happens is Lex's grand plan is he's trying to take down Superman. Doesn't like the idea of a god. So he first sets it up so Batman does it. Mm-hmm. And then when Batman fails, he has Doomsday in reserve. Doomsday's born to take out Superman. You know, that's the idea. He is Superman's Doomsday. And all he is, he's apparently some kind of Kryptonian deformity.
Yeah,
they call it.
Deformity. I don't know how often they go ahead and make these things, because it's not allowed at the time, but they go ahead and make it anyway, because Lex is in charge.
Lex is in charge, somehow, the whole ship. It's more convoluted than it needs to be.
So Superman is already, at this point in the movie, when Doomsday is introduced, Batman and Superman have already fought. And Superman's like to Lex Luthor, you've lost. Because my mom is safe. We'll talk about the mom thing in a minute. My mom is safe. My girl is safe. And Batman's on my side. You're fucked, Lex. So then Lex is like, I got this thing over here. And it's like this big alien uterus sac thing. And then Superman has the best look. It's the most acting he does in the entire movie. Yeah. He just looks like, what the fuck? You set out Batman to come out and try to kill me. This guy's trying to kill me with spears and kryptonite and all this other crazy shit. You kidnapped my girl. You threw him off Lois off a heliport. You kidnapped my mom. And now you got this fucking thing. It's the same day, by the way. It's the whole thing that's happening to Superman. This is like his worst fucking day.
Yeah, well, it doesn't end very well either for him.
No, well, it doesn't either. We'll get to that too. Okay, so Doomsday comes out, and he's kind of small, and he looks a little bit awkward, and as he gets damaged, he starts showing those bone spurs.
Well, not damaged. He absorbs the energy of the nuclear blast, and then that's when he starts showing the bone spurs.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. So
the government cares so little about Superman that they blow him up with a nuclear missile.
Well, Superman cares about people now, because the biggest thing about this movie, they've been very clear, they beat you over the head. Everywhere they fight, there's no people.
Right.
And one of the things that Superman does when he fights Doomsday, which makes all the sense in the world, which he could have done with Zod at any given fucking time, he takes Doomsday to space.
Straight up to space, and that's where they hit him with the nuclear missile.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. Why doesn't he just throw, actually, you can't throw the Kryptonian into the sun, right? Because that'll make it more powerful. But couldn't he just throw him, really far? Because he can't propel himself back. I guess he could.
He probably could propel himself back, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It looks like he's jumping everywhere, but maybe he could fly. If he was Zod, he would probably be able to fly.
But he's some kind of deformity with Zod. So let's get past that. So they're up into space, and the government's like, well, let's nuke him.
Yeah, it's not even, there's no even pause or hesitation. Nope, let's nuke him.
Well, that's mostly because they both the U.S. still thinks that Superman may be a giant threat.
Yeah.
Based on what? Other than like collateral damage, which is hilarious, by the way. If you've ever learned anything about U.S. military actions at all, okay, collateral damage happens. Now, whether Superman had a problem, or maybe if anybody just sat down and talked to him, you're like, hey, have you been doing this long? You're like, no. I'm going to know this for the future. Maybe he needs some fucking training. Maybe he needs to have a conversation with, like, military people, which he actually tries to do at some point, at least with the Senate.
Yep.
Anyway, so they go into space, they blow up everybody. Show the awesome effect of Superman being blown up by a nuke, and it looks very similar to in Dark Knight Returns, where he's kind of emaciated, really thin.
Right.
But he's also Superman, so he's going to be fine. So he's out there, he's floating around, really thin. And then he gets larger and larger because the sun recharges him.
Yep.
Because he's up in space, because the sun's right there, so he's all fine. Which at this point, by the way, if I was Superman, I would go to the sun.
Yeah.
Get like invulnerable, because that's what Superman does.
Yeah, he absorbs the sun.
And then come back. Like, it wouldn't take him that long.
Right.
But anyway, Doomsday falls to Earth. Doomsday gets super powered now, even bigger. And he's like firing out lightning bolts and shit, which is
Whatever.
new.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I don't know.
When does Wonder Woman already show up?
Well, and then he comes, and then Batman leads him to the port of Gotham, which is abandoned, by the way, and they make a point of the saying this.
That's the other thing. When Doomsday landed, he landed on like Shutter Island or something, which was also an abandoned
place. Yes, and then when Batman's Batwing crashes and Doomsday about to unleash hell upon him, Wonder Woman makes an awesome entrance.
Yeah, which is actually not the same scene as the trailer, which I always thought was. So it turns out that when Doomsday's firing out his heat ray, you see just like white light and stuff. But then you see Wonder Woman, she's actually blocked it with her bracelets.
Yeah.
It wasn't the shield.
She later blocks with the shields, but at that point she's blocking with the bracelets.
I'm like, that's even less surface area. So
Yeah.
I'm like, that's really badass. So
Yeah.
that was really cool, because then she's just standing there, pulling out a sword. They do have that moment of I thought she was with you. I thought that was actually
it actually worked out because they thought they each knew her in different ways and they had no idea really.
It's definitely funnier in the movie than it is.
Yeah,
in
it works in the scene.
the trailer.
It does work.
Yeah, because the other thing is like Superman was like he's away at the time.
Yeah,
and then Bats is there. It's like
yeah.
Who sent you? So like that actually made sense. There's really not a great explanation why she helps.
No, there isn't. Yeah.
Because she doesn't like mankind. If she wanted mankind to die, she could have let this thing do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a whole other thing. They all team up. So before we get to the big ending, which there's like 6 of them actually.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Batman-Superman fight.
Okay. Batman-Superman fight. My opinion of the fight is the way they set it up, it looks like it goes down exactly how Batman thought it was going to go. He prepares the area, he knows how it's going to end, he knows what's going to happen, or he works the fight that way so that it ends in a place where he can take this spear of kryptonite and kill Superman with it.
Yeah, so the other thing is this fight has been orchestrated by Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor has basically influenced Bruce Wayne enough secretly behind the scenes to make him more and more paranoid, more and more crazy into this idea of taking down the Superman. On top of that, Lex does kidnap Martha Kent, has her kidnapped, and says to Superman, hey, by the way, I have your mom. So if you want her alive, you got to go bring me the head of the Batman. So essentially, he's just trying to get like a god to work for him so he's more important. But that makes sense why he wants to be more important than Superman. Now, Superman at this point could do a number of things, like, search the Earth and find his mom. Because, like...
Who's in a windowed building, by the way.
Yeah, so unless these windows are lead, he probably could find her. Okay? He found Lois, like, everywhere. He can probably find his mom if he really tried. And or, this is the other thing, if it's lead-lined, go to the lead-lined building. There's a good chance if you can't find her in the area, that's probably where to go. So it makes a lot of sense. And when he arrives to go to Gotham, because he obviously doesn't think, I can't find my mom, I'm going to go talk to Batman. First he talks to Lois, like, I got to go talk to him. He goes over to Batman. He doesn't say out loud, first thing, Lex has set us up.
No.
Don't
he
do
says,
this.
We need to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Batman proceeds to, like hit him with, like, sonic waves.
Hit him with sonic waves and then shoot him, and then he really ticks off Superman.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then Superman gets pissed enough not to say, we are being set up. My mom is kidnapped. I'm only here because Lex Luthor has gone completely batshit crazy. No offense, because...
Yeah, bat and everything,
right.
yeah.
But he should say something like
Good
that.
pun.
He never fucking does it.
Yeah.
So they have the fight. It goes all over the place. And Batman does depower Superman a bunch of times because he has a couple of kryptonite gas canisters.
Yep.
Hits Superman with it.
It's a good fight. They both get their knocks in. I mean, they beat the heck out of each other.
So yeah, Batman is getting to really enjoy beating up Superman. And the moments where Superman is like getting his stuff back, like he's recovering, when Bruce Wayne or Batman's punching Superman in the face, and
That was a good scene.
He's doing less and less of a reaction until he just looks sternly at Batman, like, what are you doing? Like, stop it. Like, the other thing is, like, at this time, the idea that Batman, for some reason, thinks this guy is so evil and so awful that anytime Superman has his full powers, he could kill Batman like that. At any time. He could walk back 1,000 paces away from the kryptonite, burn this guy off like a hole.
Yeah.
He could vaporize him. Every single time Superman shows this guy mercy, I don't know why Batman's not like, wait, why didn't you know I'm trying to kill you, but you're not trying to kill me. Maybe you're not as bad as I thought.
But if you do think about the ending scene, he does say he failed him because he let his emotions get the best of him.
Okay, but this Batman should not have been
he's
so emotional.
Well, he's messed up.
Hopefully this is cleared out at some point why this Batman is so
unhinged.
Well, it's not just unhinged, but see, like, he's a good spy. He's rational at times. He's hanging out. When he goes and gets Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman at one point steals that hard drive that he had copied, and
yes, he's very smooth and calm.
He's smooth with her, and he doesn't go like, well, if there's 1% chance that this woman is bad, I need to kill her. He doesn't do that. He's like, hey, you took my thing. She goes, it's in your car. And that's the end of their stupid little interaction. Like, he doesn't, like, punish her for anything, but he just loses his shit because, like, I don't know, Superman broke one of his buildings, like, maybe killed some of his employees by accident. He only saved the whole fucking Earth.
Yeah, no, nobody. I had an issue with that along the way, no one talks about the good stuff Superman's been doing. Yeah, everybody's just trashing him about every bad thing this poor bastard's ever done.
But is the only thing is his only appearance, and it's not true in the movie, by the way, they show this. Like, he's saving flooding victims, and he's doing all this, like world-saving shit.
Yeah.
His PR, maybe there would be some company out there being like, we'll be your PR company.
Yeah, dude, you're getting some bad press. We need to make that better.
Anyway, so the fight between Batman and Superman. Batman has got the upper hand on Supes. Supes is, he's down. He's down, he's out. Been cut on the face with the kryptonite spear, and Bruce is ready to do it. He's going to kill him. And then what does Superman say?
Martha
must save Martha. This freaks Batman the fuck out.
Because that's his mother's name.
He steps back a couple of steps. They give us a flashback to the beginning of the movie, which at this point is about 2 hours ago.
Which they didn't need to, but that's okay.
They show that it's Martha Wayne, and his mom's name is Martha. And he's like, why did you say that name? And he's like, they have Martha. You can save Martha. So they're like, why do you say that name? So this goes on for like a good 3 minutes.
Yep. And then
Lois explains it. Lois
it.
Lane shows up because she is like... She's a teleporting superhuman who never gets affected by any kind of damage. She shows up because she's a metahuman, which we clearly we've skipped over in this movie. She's not.
No.
She disappears like that really easily.
Well, she takes a helicopter and...
She finds everything so easily.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she finds Superman and Batman, and she explains, Martha Kent is his mom's name, and she's being held a prisoner and whatever. Which, by the way, you think at some point when Lois, a reporter, got thrown off a helipad by Lex Luthor, she would go like on television immediately, or the internet and be like, you wouldn't believe what the fuck just happened. This guy's lost his mind. He tried to kill me. Anything he's doing, something really bad's happening. Superman's the good guy because this guy just tried to kill me. As a test, he shoved me off. Now, granted, that might reveal some kind of relationship with Superman, but still.
Well, yeah, he really doesn't have a secret identity anyway.
Yeah.
By the way, Clark Kent and Superman, they act exactly the same. There's no difference in personality
there. Yeah, Clark is he stands up and self-righteous.
Yeah.
He's bizarrely self-righteous. Like, it would draw attention. He's like, we should do this because it's the right thing to do. Which is weird because Superman never fucking says that.
You also can't hide the fact that he's enormous.
You could, because he could like be like this.
No.
Right?
No, he stands up straight.
He stands up straight and he's like, I could be...
It's like the seams are bulging on his plaid shirt.
He's got a custom shirt. It's not like it's oversized or something.
Yeah.
There's a whole aside I want to talk about. The Nick Cage Superman, he thought about actually wearing like bad t-shirts and like Hawaiian shirts and like a hat. And like just looking like somebody who bought all the stuff you buy on vacation and wore it in real life.
Yeah.
Because that guy is so dorky, there's no way that guy would be Superman. That take actually sounds intriguing.
Yes.
Anyway, that's an aside. There's a documentary that we talked about a while ago. Let's talk about the end of the movie, which is the biggest spoiler. But actually, I didn't see anywhere on the internet, which is nice. I didn't really look for it.
No, I haven't seen it anywhere. I mean, people have thought about it because Doomsday's in the movie, and anybody who's read the comics knows that Doomsday's first appearance, how it ended.
Yeah, in the first comic book thing, they actually have a battle, Superman and Doomsday. And in one final blow, they both hit each other, like one with a double axe and one with like a punch in the face.
Yeah.
And they both die.
Yep. It's like the Rocky thing where they both fall down.
Yeah, so in this movie, I'm thinking, okay, they brought in Doomsday, but it's not really Doomsday, and they got Wonder Woman and they got Batman, who's like super powered up. There's no way they're gonna do the actual storyline from Death of Superman. But then they fucking did it.
And they did it in a cool way.
Yeah, so Superman essentially sacrifices himself. So as they're fighting, Wonder Woman is like stabbing away at Doomsday, chops off his hand, and while his hand is gone, he reforms like this big, perfect, I guess, plot point spike.
Yeah.
This massive spike. So Superman's got to figure out how to kill this guy. The only way to do it is this kryptonite spear, which is conveniently located in a pool with Lois. He goes and saves her. He goes and gets the spear, which is crazy if you think about it, because it's killing him as he picks it up. Wonder Woman's got Doomsday tied up.
In the lasso.
The lasso looked really cool. Batman fires off his last gas canister of kryptonite, and then Superman flies into Doomsday with the spear, which is pretty cool. And he's just trying to push this thing into it. But Doomsday gets that giant spear of his own right through Superman. Like, not like here and it bounces off. Like, it goes through Superman.
Yeah.
And they make it very clear that this is through Superman.
Yeah, and what he does, that Superman then pulls himself further on this spear to push the kryptonite spear through Doomsday.
Which eventually then does kill Doomsday.
Yeah.
Doomsday dies, and then Superman dies right there.
Yeah, it is a rough scene.
And I was actually surprised. I didn't expect him to actually do this. That really sets the tone for the rest of the movies, I think. Mm-hmm. So, okay, Superman is dead. They do 2 funerals. Mm-hmm. Okay,
which was beautifully done scene with the 2 funerals done at the same time.
They also showed like the Daily Planet paper that said Clark Kent lost. He's dead. He was one of the collateral damage, I guess. For this, and then we have what appears to be about 5 or 6 endings.
Well, what my opinion is, it's almost like he added Snyder added the 2 scenes that would normally be in the credits onto the end.
Yeah, so we have the funeral, and then you have Bruce saying, like, maybe we talking to Wonder Woman, like, hey, maybe we should still be a thing, like, and we can have more people because there's going to be bad shit happening.
Yeah, and she says, how do you know? And he just has a feeling, obviously, the dream and everything.
I have a feeling, which is really stupid, by the way. He really should say something like, I'm Batman. Like, that's, what do you mean? Like, I know bad shit's going to happen.
That would be badass if he just said, I'm
Batman.
I'm Batman. That would be awesome. It would have been kind of funny, and that this movie was severely lacking in the funny. Oh, yeah.
The humor content in this is it's probably under 30 seconds total.
Right. In past movies, Lex Luthor tends to be more on the funny side. Not here.
All right, so we got that ending. We have a Batman Lex Luthor ending? Or does that happen before?
Nope, that's the Batman Lex Luthor ending.
Okay. So Lex Luthor goes to jail. They shave his head, so now he's got the classic Lex Luthor look. Mm-hmm. And then, like, there's going to be people there to, like, talk to give him. Well, they have to restrain him.
Restrain him. Yeah, there's 2 cops that are going to restrain him. The lights go dark, and then a red light pops on. Batman comes in, threatens him, tells him, you can't go anywhere. I'll know wherever you are, whatever you do. And he's going to brand him, but then he doesn't.
Yeah, he like punches the wall because Lex Luthor keeps talking and makes him more and more infuriated.
And then more angry. Lex is saying he's coming.
God is dead. There's a bell been rung, can't unring the bell. He's talking like a lunatic, by the way. So it's kind of like...
But online, everybody's saying it's something about Darkseid coming, and he somehow knows it's coming and what's going on.
Yeah, and some reviews I was talking about, like, this part could have been clearer. If for some reason at some point they gave us like this obvious point, like the Omega brand on the back of his head, was something I saw on a review. I'm like, we needed some kind of why exactly did he do all of this? Because he has millions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
He's got a business to run.
It makes very little sense.
He can have Batman go and fight his battles. Why the fuck is he involving himself? Why is he kidnapping Lois and Martha Kent? Why is he doing all this shit? He's putting all his stuff on the line. And now he's talking publicly, to the Batman, saying like all this crazy shit. Why did he go crazy when he was just weird? Mm-hmm. You know, it seemed like there was a disconnect there.
Yeah.
In the Lex Luthor character.
Like I said, I'm hoping that the extra scenes bring a little bit more light on that, and then definitely future movies are going to explain all that.
Maybe the irradiation from the kryptonite drove him mad. Something. Give us some reason why in the movie. Because in this movie, we had time for this, by the way. We could have had it in there. We have another ending where actually, are we back at the funeral?
We're back at the funeral, back at the gravesite.
Yeah.
We have Lois throwing dirt on the coffin.
Yeah, where Clark is actually.
Clark is in, and the very last, right before we go to the black screen, we see some of the dirt start to levitate off the coffin. Kind of like the pebbles and things do right before Superman takes off in flight.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So I was hoping in the movie that they don't show the dirt. I didn't expect the dirt to levitate to show us that Superman's alive still.
Yeah.
Because we all know he's coming back.
Right.
Or it's the biggest lie ever that, okay, you know what, Unite the Seven, it doesn't include Superman. That would be fucking unbelievable if they were like, he's dead.
Like I said, my belief is, so Justice League movie is 2 parts. My belief is Superman comes back towards the end of part 1. He's in this movie very, very little. Mm-hmm. And the second movie is him back in business.
I think you're probably right about the way that, you're right about that because of the way the movies are structured, such that there won't be an explanation until the next fucking movie. Because that's what I feel like is going to happen. Like, he'll show up and there won't be any explanation until part 2. Just like there's no explanation why the hell Batman's insane. Maybe we'll get that from Suicide Squad.
We'll get a little bit from Suicide Squad because we know there are scenes where Batman's in Suicide Squad with the Joker. We're going to get Wonder Woman's backstory in her movie.
Next year.
That's definitely going to be a period piece.
Yeah, so it takes place in World War I, it looks like. Then you'll have, maybe they'll jump to the future like they did in Captain America. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But we know where they're going to be at, and then we're going to be, assembling the team.
Yeah, and Aquaman, Cyborg, The Flash. Or part 1 starts off with Batman sending The Flash to talk to Batman in the past. Let's start with that. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
Because that's what I want to know what the hell happened there. I want to watch that. I want to watch the longer cut of this movie at some point just to see, did it ever make sense?
Yeah.
Because it had a lot of lacking.
Yeah. End of July, by the way. Comes out on Blu-ray.
Also, they should not have shown us the levitating dirt. They should have just been like, we killed him.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Because that would have been like, okay, you were walking out of this theater and realizing.
Thinking that Superman's dead.
That this company is saying, our movies are not they're not fun and light. You are seeing some serious shit happen.
Yeah.
We're not even going to give you the spot of hope.
Yeah. Well, when I read that comic book, Death of Superman, when I was a kid, that shook me. I didn't think they were going to bring him back.
You really didn't think that?
Nope.
No,
I thought at least he'd be gone for a while.
He was gone for a while.
And the way it was written was really good.
Yeah, but the idea is death has to mean something, okay?
Right.
Batman's driven by the death of his parents. And Daredevil, every person that Superman, he's got his space
Punisher.
dad, whole planet. Everybody's got this. You have to have Spider-Man. Another person, you need to have somebody stay dead. So if and when Superman comes back, one, this should have some serious religious overtones, like it did in the comic books. You died, you came back. There's a whole bunch of faiths that are kind of cool with that. Like, wait a minute, that's pretty cool.
Wait, you come from above, you die, you come back.
You're the only son of Krypton. So wait a second. There's another one, Zod, but we killed him twice.
Yes, twice now.
He came back from the dead. So wait a second. Maybe
my thought is, hopefully, with him sacrificing himself for the world again, people might come around when he comes back to life a little bit, might say, oh, this guy, maybe he's not so bad.
He died for us.
Yes.
Literally, he sacrificed himself.
Like that's what they're getting with, the memorial scene that they show. That's the other ending, where they have all the people standing at the memorial.
Right.
People standing at the memorial, and then they close up on just the Superman symbol, and it says, if you're looking for his monument, look around you.
Yeah, so, it becomes very pro-Superman at the end. But
the whole movie's anti-Superman.
He has to die in this. And
Yeah.
we're not even talking about the political part. Fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But, man, I don't hate this movie. Far from it.
Obviously, it was really thought-provoking. I've thought a lot about it. It made me wonder where they're going with a lot of things. I thought at times, you didn't, but I saw it twice. I thought it could have been sped up a little bit in the first hour and a half. It could have been, or been less vague, at least at points. But there were things I liked. Batman fight scenes, awesome.
Very good.
Yeah, anything Batman was fighting in was awesome. Wonder Woman, loved everything she was in. Even Superman had some cool fight scenes. But, like you said, it was more Batman's movie.
Yeah, my biggest complaint about this movie is that Superman is just dumb.
Yeah.
Like, he's very dumb. Like, he should be smarter than he is. He's not strategizing very well. The thing that he should have done is given that spear to Wonder Woman and then thrown Wonder Woman at Doomsday. Like, it could have worked because Wonder Woman didn't have a problem fighting Doomsday one-on-one. That's the other thing. She showed no battle damage.
Right.
Nothing was dented. Her tiara was fine. Everything was
smiling.
Fine. So, like, she didn't lose a tooth while she's smiling. Like, this woman should be given this Kryptonian, the kryptonite that is, and just go because she's the only one who could do it. That would be an amazing ending to go. Like, Wonder Woman's coming next year, by the way.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna have a power stroke.
But like I said, they needed Superman to die, obviously, for some plot reason later on.
Yeah, there's an idea that we're gonna get the Injustice storyline.
Yeah, that's really dark.
Where Superman basically becomes the evil dictator of the Earth because Lois dies, and he's like, "Fuck this, I'm taking over." Which is, you know what? We haven't seen that story.
Nope.
Let's do it. I don't really have a problem with it. I think it's really interesting if they do that. They can move ahead because if you can, maybe you need this dark arc for Superman. So people can go, I really want him the other way, though.
Yeah.
And once they finally give us that, we're like, yes, you gave us what we want, and people actually come to see it. Because Superman...
Finally Superman.
Yeah, that would be the title. Finally Superman. Because, god damn it, Captain America has shown us you can have a character who stands for something, who seems idyllic, in the face of all the cynicism, and he doesn't seem out of place.
Right.
He seems like a really good guy.
Yeah.
Superman, Clark seems to embody this a lot. Superman never says anything hopeful.
Right, you're right. Yeah, he doesn't do the truth, justice, and all the rest of that stuff.
There's a scene where he walks into the Senate and he waits to talk, and I think that's really cool. I really liked it when he waited. He just stood there, waiting to be addressed because he would not speak first, which I thought was kind of neat. But, I'm also thinking, shit, this guy needs to really learn to talk, to tell people, I'm not the bad guy. In the first movie, he's got handcuffs on himself, and he's talking to Lois, and it means hope, it means that.
Yeah.
At any time, he should be like, look, I could kill everyone. I'm not going to.
But I don't.
Yeah, there's a reason why. And you guys are talking some serious shit. He can control the press. Why nobody ever thinks of this? Or, why there's no positivity around Superman. Mm-hmm. Even at the Daily Planet, they hate him.
Yeah.
So it's just doesn't he sell papers? He must sell papers. Why do you keep hating him? But anyway... I think the two movies of the two movies, Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, Man of Steel is way more optimistic.
Way more.
Which is sad because that movie's really dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you want to look for an uplifting Zack Snyder movie, the most I think right now it's definitely not Watchmen.
No.
And it's not Batman v Superman.
No, absolutely
Man of Steel
not.
is the colorful, exciting, happy version of the DC universe.
Yeah, pretty much at this point.
So I think that does it for our review.
Yes.
If you want to watch shiny, happy, fun DC, I hear Supergirl's very good on CBS.
It is, and it is very fun, happy, definitely not dark.
The color palette looks really bright. I haven't seen it. I saw the Rotten Tomato thing's something like 92% on it.
Yeah, it's good.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's different.
The Flash is going to have a crossover with the Supergirl show.
Tonight, actually.
So that's actually probably going to bring me into the Supergirl show because I really like the Flash. Mm-hmm. Very bright and happy and family oriented. I really like the Flash as a show.
Yeah.
And we're not getting that actor in the movie. We'll see different takes because I'm hoping that maybe one day let's collapse the universes and go, this is our Flash.
Because we already know, based on the Flash, we have multiple parallel universes going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is a nice way to make everything work together.
And it explains why the universes aren't connected really. Because also, and Gotham is the biggest outlier of all the shows.
Right, that doesn't count to anything.
Doesn't connect to anything.
No.
But yeah, Batman v Superman, I don't think it deserves a 29% rating.
No, I absolutely think it is better than the critics gave it credit for.
Yeah, I think it's maybe 3 out of 5.
I agree with the 60-70% rating. I mean, that's the kind of movie it is.
It's it's different. I think the biggest problem is resistance to what these characters are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because if you're coming in going, Superman should be bright and blue and really fun, and Batman should be like mean but not kill anyone, and Wonder Woman, I don't know anything about her, so she should just do something.
So she should look pretty.
Yeah, so like if you come into that, that's not going to work. Because like Wonder Woman is a badass, Batman is driven and insane, and Superman is grim, quiet. He's very quiet.
Yeah.
And I like I'm saying, he's a little dumb.
Yeah.
A little dumb. He does have a good heart, but he doesn't have enough time to show that.
Right.
Which is weird. 2.5 hours.
Like you said, there's no character development there's not a lot of character development for Superman. They try with him getting over his demons with the whole, there's collateral damage. You're going to have to get used to that.
I think his biggest character development was him and Lois. They actually seem like a real couple. They seem cute together, and they were like helpful. He had a nickname.
Yeah.
He even called her Lo at one point.
Lo.
So, I was like, I like those little moments.
Which was him showing more emotion than he showed the entire movie.
Yeah. When he talks to
cute.
Lois, he was like a person. Like he says he loves her before he flies into Doomsday.
Yeah.
Like if he ever bothered to tap into that part of, they said, hey, by the way, you care about humanity the way you care about Lois.
It would have been like, you
okay.
care about your mother. That was when he was telling Lois.
Oh, but he
looked up. I mean,
he can convey anger really well. That's the thing. I mean, Superman can get angry, and he looked furious with the red eye reveal.
He's not a bad actor. It's just the character. There's not a lot there for him to work with.
Because Ben Affleck got a lot to work with.
He did, and I thought everybody hits on Ben Affleck how he did in Daredevil. He did a good job. I was okay. He didn't take away from the movie because he was in it.
Oh no, it's not. He's not the reason why Daredevil was bad. The story and the directing,
but a lot of people
the seesaw fights. That's no Affleck.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Clooney. Clooney was a really bad Batman.
Yeah.
But you've seen Clooney be a badass since and before that.
Yeah.
It's really the way the story was told.
Yeah.
So like that's a whole other thing. But Affleck probably, I think I did a top 5 about this. I said that he was better just on the trailers alone. He was better than Kilmer and Clooney, and I was right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like he is better than them. I don't know if he's better than Bale, but he's definitely a different Batman.
He's different. Yeah, and he's older.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been through wars.
He's just really he's depressed and he's angry. That's the other thing. He's not just like trying to avenge shit. He's angry.
Yeah.
And he's like not thinking clearly, which is really strange.
Right.
And I don't understand why that would be the case. If Alfred had died in the course of the movie, I could see him really going over the edge.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll find out why he's gone to this point, why he's being so extreme, why he's branding criminals, which I still think is whatever. You know what? I'm trying to accept what they're giving us.
Yeah. Let's just leave it at the fact that obviously this movie has made us think, made us very interested for what's coming, and we're on board for wherever they're going with this.
All right, so right now you're going to see everybody who sponsored us with Patreon. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
We're running out of hard drive space, so we're going to say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.